Welcome to the Daily Vibe Casting.
Let's do it.
Buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into what's blowing up on X right now.
All the buzz.
Think rapid-fire reactions to the hottest trending topics. Let's get into it.
Sounds like a jolt of energy. I'm ready to see what's got everyone talking.
Okay, first up, a post from @UnusualWhales says Gen Z college grads expect to snag over $100,000 for their first job.
Wow.
Citing ZipRecruiter. Whoa, aiming high right out of the gate.
That's certainly an ambitious expectation. Very ambitious.
Right.
Interestingly, ZipRecruiter's own data for 2025. Well, the median starting salaries land more in the $60,000 to $70,000 range.
Yeah, that sounds more like it.
Of course, fields like consulting or maybe tech in really pricey cities, they might see numbers closer to $90,000 maybe.
Right. And the conversation under that @UnusualWhales post is just buzzing. People talking about how social media can skew perceptions of what's realistic.
Go on.
And not to mention the very real pressures like inflation and student loan debt feeding into those high hopes. ZipRecruiter's career experts mention that too.
Absolutely. And you also see some generational viewpoints clashing in the replies, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Some pointing to larger economic forces, historical policies shaping the current job market, stuff that, wealth transfer analyses from places like Forbes have touched upon before.
Okay, shifting gears fast. Ready?
Go.
@HitchSlap1 dropped a graph. It shows college majors by average IQ and gender balance.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, commenting that many don't really get what a 130 IQ means, and that physics students often fall into that category. Intriguing data.
It is. The chart visually presents a relationship there. You've got physics majors clustering around that 130 IQ mark with a notably lower female-to-male ratio, whereas majors like, say, education tend to sit around 110 IQ with a much higher proportion of females, way higher.
So the data suggests fields with higher average IQ scores seem to have more guys, and vice versa.
Seems to be the trend in this chart, yeah.
@HitchSlap1 even referenced some older studies proposing that a high IQ could be a pretty big factor for top-level success in physics.
Precisely. And looking at the overall data from that graph, there does seem to be a correlation. Higher average IQ associated with a major and its gender distribution. It could reflect maybe the different types of analytical skills emphasized.
Could be. All right, let's look at Tim Cook's post now. Apple's CEO.
Okay, Apple.
He's highlighting new accessibility features from Apple, underscoring their long-standing commitment to inclusive technology. #GNAB80.
Right. Global Accessibility Awareness Day.
Always good to see tech focusing on this.
Definitely. They time these announcements perfectly for GA, which really puts a spotlight on why digital inclusion is so important.
So what are they rolling out?
Well, one key feature is these accessibility nutrition labels in the App Store. Makes it easier to see which apps offer support for things like VoiceOver or, larger text.
Oh, that's practical. That's really useful.
Yeah. And they're also rolling out system-level enhancements, things like Braille Access and Magnifier for Mac. Those are expected later this year, probably with the fall OS updates.
Good stuff.
Exactly. And this fits into that broader global conversation, right? Making digital spaces more accessible for everyone. You see things like the Inclusive India Summit.
Yeah.
It highlights that this is a worldwide priority.
Okay, brace yourself. Prepare for some dark humor here.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
@HeraDividend sarcastically tweeted that the quickest way to $100,000 in the stock market is to throw $500,000 into United Health. Ticker symbol 1ANH.
Oof. Ouch. Yeah, that sharp comment is definitely referencing the significant downturn United Health has seen recently.
How bad was it?
A drop of around 60% in their stock value in just a month, which, as @Covisa Letter pointed out, erased a massive amount of market cap. Billions.
60%. Wow. What's the story there? @HeraDividend mentioned a Department of Justice criminal investigation and the CEO suddenly leaving.
Yeah, that sounds serious. It does indicate some pretty significant challenges for the company.
You think?
Well, yeah. But interestingly, despite this sharp decline, you still see some investors out there
Really?
who believe the stock might actually be undervalued now. That shows a real split, polarized views on where it's headed.
Huh. Okay, now for a surprising economic note. This is from @LeadingReport.
Go on.
U.S. wholesale prices unexpectedly fell by 0.5% in April, largest drop in 5 years. And get this, even with President Trump's tariffs in place.
Whoa, okay. That is counterintuitive.
Right.
Because those tariffs, implemented back in February,
Yeah.
everyone pretty much anticipated they'd lead to price increases. So this 0.5% decrease reported by the Labor Department, it's quite significant. Biggest since, what, April 2020?
Yeah, exactly. And they pointed out a similar unexpected drop back in October 2023, too.
Huh.
So these tariffs, they don't seem to be having that immediate inflationary effect on wholesale prices that some might have predicted, at least not yet.
That's a key takeaway for sure. And it's worth remembering, organizations like the Tax Foundation, they actually projected these tariffs could lead to reduced long-term economic growth. So this price drop just adds another kind of confusing layer to understanding their potential impact.
Okay, here's a concerning security update. From @CultureCraze.
Security. Okay.
Hackers are demanding a $20 million Bitcoin ransom from Coinbase,
20 million. Wow.
threatening to leak customer data. But get this, Coinbase's CEO fired back, offered a $20 million reward to catch the cybercriminals.
That's bold. A high-stakes game of cat and mouse, isn't it?
Totally.
Ransomware attacks hitting crypto platforms.
Yeah.
It's becoming way too common. And using Bitcoin for the ransom demand, well, that's standard procedure for these groups, unfortunately.
Right. We don't have all the details here. Obviously, it's a quick take.
Oh,
but Coinbase's aggressive response, that's definitely making waves.
It really underscores the constant cybersecurity batter these companies face, especially when they're handling sensitive digital assets. And, the potential regulatory fallout when user data is at risk is huge.
Okay, next up, @Tim Sweeney Epic. He's back, taking another shot at Apple.
The Epic versus Apple saga continues.
Right. He's highlighting that while the Fortnite return to iOS is still pending, developers are already using Epic Game Store web shops to link out from their iOS games.
And they're boasting a much better fee structure, I bet.
Exactly. 0% revenue share on the first million earned, then 12%. Compared to Apple's standard rates.
Which are 15% or 30%. Yeah, that's a clear attempt to lure developers away. This is all happening against the backdrop of that ongoing legal fight, the injunctions.
And @Tim Sweeney Epic mentions the delayed return of Fortnite itself, probably tangled up in Apple's App Store review process still.
Definitely feels like Epic is trying to capitalize on their legal wins, keep the pressure on.
It's a strategic move for sure. Provide a direct alternative for developers, keep hammering away at Apple's App Store policies.
Absolutely. Smart play.
Uh-oh. Market alert now. From @Kobesalitter.
Okay, what's moving?
Breaking. Meta stock, ticker Meta, dropped 3% after they announced a delay in their flagship AI model.
Ooh, a delay. Are investors getting jittery about the AI race?
Seems like it. I mean, a 3% drop for a company like Meta. That's definitely noteworthy. This delay probably raises concerns about their competitive standing in AI, which is moving so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Did @Kobesalitter show the price drop?
Yeah, the accompanying chart visually shows that dip. And they're drawing a connection to the recent controversy around OpenAI's safety evaluations, too.
Interesting link.
Could there be broader anxieties about the pace and maybe the safety of AI development overall?
That's a plausible take. The entire industry is, grappling with these really complex questions around AI deployment, ethics. So any perceived setback or controversy anywhere can ripple out and impact investor sentiment across the board.
Okay, this next one is fascinating. @MGFran posted RIP photography industry with a shocked emoji,
What?
claiming that AI generated over 50 professional-looking headshots from just a casual photo, supposedly saving them like $1,000.
Whoa, okay. Is AI about to completely disrupt photography?
That's the question, right?
All right.
It certainly seems to be making waves. Tools like Better Pick AI, which they probably used here, they're showing off just how good AI is getting at image generation.
Making professional quality results much more accessible.
Yeah, and the ability to customize details, background, clothing. It's pretty advanced.
They're saying it's democratizing professional photography, especially for stuff like LinkedIn profiles. Makes sense.
But you have to wonder about the trade-offs, right? What gets lost?
That's the key question, isn't it? While AI offers convenience, maybe affordability, and some studies, I think I saw one from 2024, warned it might still struggle to capture, the genuine nuances of human expression, the stuff a skilled photographer gets.
Right, the soul, maybe. Okay, here's a, rather cynical take on dating apps now. From @Signal.
Oh boy, dating apps. What now?
They highlight this case of a user swiping right 2 million times. 2 million.
And only getting one date, suggesting this isn't some unlucky guy, but like the norm.
Wow, that's bleak.
Yeah. And the real insight, they say, isn't just the struggle, but how this dynamic creates a super lucrative revenue stream for the apps themselves.
The monetization angle. It's a striking example of the challenges, yeah. And the point about monetization, well, When you have a significant imbalance in user activity, engagement, it definitely creates opportunities for revenue through premium features.
AdSignal argues these apps are basically profiting from this imbalance, incentivizing women to pay for premium, men to pay for visibility.
Fostering what they called a shopping mentality.
Exactly, which some argue kind of prioritizes profit over actually helping people make genuine connections.
It's a tricky balance for those platforms, definitely.
Okay, now for a moment of international news. @PressSec posted about President Trump's visit to the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque in Abu Dhabi,
Okay.
noting that it was closed just for his visit, the first time ever for anyone. A historic moment, they're calling it. That is a significant diplomatic event. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque is a major cultural religious site in the UAE, known for its inclusive ethos.
So closing it entirely.
For a visiting head of state. Yeah, that's an unprecedented gesture, a big deal.
@PressSec really emphasizes that first time ever aspect. I've seen pictures. The mosque's architecture is incredible.
It's stunning. And the UAE often positions it as a symbol of cultural understanding. This visit, while historic, it did generate some online discussion about protocol inside the mosque, like wearing shoes.
Ah, right. Okay, this next one is pure internet irony. You'll appreciate this.
Lay it on me.
@TrashDev tweeted, "You can't make this stuff up," with a link
To what?
to a Medium article titled "How the Web Became Unreadable,"
Okay.
which is behind a paywall.
No. Laughs. That's perfect. The ultimate illustration of the problem itself.
Isn't it? It perfectly highlights the very issues the article probably discusses: intrusive pop-ups, paywalls hindering accessibility, readability.
Oh, man. That's rich. And the responses to it, TrashDev's post probably just echo that widespread frustration, right? Platforms like Medium shifting to subscriptions after being more open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Common sentiment. And it ties into broader web usability complaints, like those GDPR cookie banners everywhere. Just adding to the clutter makes the web feel less readable sometimes.
For sure.
All right, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Feeling nostalgic.
Always ready for some nostalgia. What is it?
@ReSelvin posted, "We literally have no idea how to build software like this anymore," alongside a picture of, wait for it, the iconic iBeer app.
Oh my God, iBeer.
Yeah.
The quintessential early iPhone novelty.
Error.
Where you tilted your phone, looked like you were drinking a virtual beer.
Exactly. It was all about fun, showing off what a smartphone could do back then.
Totally gimmicky, but fun.
@ReSullivan's comment really speaks to how much app development has changed, doesn't it? Today, it's all utility, monetization, navigating much stricter App Store guidelines.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of lost whimsy from those early smartphone app days. Such a stark contrast to the often ad-heavy, super functional apps that dominate now. Not much room for virtual beer anymore.
Sadly, no. Okay, good news for video buffs on X.
Oh, yeah.
X itself announced that things that are better in 4K videos on X, heralding the arrival of 4K video uploads.
Finally. That's a significant step for X, trying to compete more directly with the video-centric platforms like YouTube, TikTok.
Definitely. Offering 4K is a major upgrade in video quality user experience. Get ready for high-res timelines.
Is it for everyone right away?
Good question. They mentioned it's rolling out initially to select creators and premium subscribers, so not universal just yet.
Okay, typical rollout.
Right.
But it signals a clear direction for the platform, right? It'll probably influence content creation strategies, raise user expectations for video quality on X.
Definitely. Okay, here's one that sounds like it could spark some serious debate. @VigilantFox warns, this isn't a conspiracy theory, it actually happened, and it should terrify everyone.
Okay, that sounds intense. What is it?
Linking to info about a concerning psychological experiment by a major tech company. What's the background?
This sounds like the 2012 Facebook experiment, where they subtly altered the news feeds of almost 700,000 users.
To do what?
To study emotional contagion. A study published later in 2014 confirmed they could influence users' emotional states just by tweaking their feeds, showing them more positive or negative posts.
Wow, okay, that is pretty unsettling. @VigilantFox mentions a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast discussing it, and even a user claiming a potential link to a suicide attempt.
Yeah, that aspect raised huge ethical red flags. There was an investigation by the British government, I remember reading, though ultimately no formal sanctions were imposed.
Yeah.
It really highlights the immense power these platforms have, right? And the ethical minefield that comes with wielding that kind of influence over users' experiences, their emotions, potentially without their explicit consent for that specific manipulation.
Yeah, wow. Okay, switching gears to a tech annoyance many can probably relate to. At DHH tweeting about his wife's iPhone alarm,
Oh, the alarm bug. Is that still going around?
apparently. Consistently failing to go off when the phone is on silent or do not disturb, he's wondering how many crucial appointments this bug might have caused people to miss.
Such a frustrating and persistent issue. It seems like it's been affecting iPhone users for ages now,
Oh.
across different iOS updates. The fact that it's still happening, that's a real pain point.
At DHH is right. It's kind of surprising Apple hasn't fully squashed this bug yet. He mentions user reports on X, Reddit, maybe linking it to the attention-aware features.
Could be. It just underscores the complexities of modern software, I guess. Even seemingly small glitches in core functions can have a big impact on daily life. And the comparisons people make to how things might have been handled differently in the past, well, it just amps up the frustration.
Definitely. Okay, get ready for another dose of nostalgia. At Subi posted, "Are you this old?"
Okay, what's the image this time?
The classic Nokia logo. The two hands reaching out.
Ah, the connecting people hands. Inspired by Michelangelo's creation of Adam. Iconic.
Totally. It just evokes that whole era, doesn't it? Early 2000s mobile phones.
Absolutely. The replies must be flooded with people reminiscing about those indestructible Nokia 3310 snake.
Oh, yeah. Simpler times. Though apparently some replies are mentioning current crypto meme tokens.
Of course they are. Shows how fast online culture moves, right? From Nokia bricks to crypto memes.
No kidding. Okay, here's a comment on the evolving media landscape. At Elon Musk reposted Ian Miles Cheong's tweet, saying your support is much appreciated.
Okay, what was Chiang's original point?
Cheong's post emphasized the value of citizen journalism and entertainment being shared directly on X, suggesting this community-driven content leads to a better user experience, aiming for 0 regretted user minutes, he called it. Interesting phrase. So highlighting the importance of everyday users contributing news, entertainment directly on the platform.
Exactly. It speaks to that ongoing shift in how information gets disseminated and consumed. Platforms like X playing a huge role in providing diverse perspectives, real-time updates, bypassing traditional gatekeepers sometimes.
Right. Okay, always one for some self-aware humor at Ryanair.
Oh, Ryanair, what did they do now?
They tweeted, "Too many windows," in response to a mock-up someone made of an airplane cabin design.
Laughs. Of course they did. That's a perfect Ryanair joke. A clear nod to their reputation for aggressive cost-cutting.
Exactly. Fewer windows means lower manufacturing costs, less weight, lower fuel burn.
It plays right into their history of sometimes, let's say, extreme proposals for saving money. Their social media team knows exactly how to lean into that image,
They really do. It's a strategy that seems to work for them, gets people talking.
even if the humor is totally at their own expense.
And finally, a striking visual from at White House.
Okay.
The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, lit up in red, white, and blue. A salute to America and President Trump, the post says.
Wow, okay. That's a powerful symbolic gesture. The Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world, illuminating it in the U.S. flag colors is a significant diplomatic signal, likely meant to reinforce relations.
Yeah, the post specifically mentioned it as a tribute to President Trump. And this isn't the first time, apparently. They also lit it up for the 4th of July a few years back.
Right. These kinds of symbolic acts, they often generate a pretty wide range of responses online, don't they? Reflecting all sorts of diverse viewpoints on politics, leadership, international affairs.
For sure. And that's your daily vibe casting for today.
Wow, we nevered a lot.
A rapid-fire look at what's been setting X ablaze. From salary dreams and AI headshots to tech glitches and global gestures. Quite the day online.
Never a dull moment on X.
What's buzzing in your world? What caught your eye? Keep your feeds fresh and your minds open. We'll catch you next time.